song. It says live. Going to the game. Going to the game. What's that? Where are you from? Look at the time. Kick off at 5:30. We're probably gonna hear it. Probably gonna hear it. No, I don't know. Not me, fuck. Don't worry, I was living like this, so slick.
Happy Sabbath, church family. God is good and all the time. Before we hear from tonight's Kalama, we'll just start off with a few praise worship songs. First song, Jesus. About being grateful. We're grateful for another week that we just had. We're grateful for all the speakers that Malanga this week. We're grateful for another Sabbath and all the blessings that we received from him.
Oh
song pretty much speaks for itself. If you've ever felt like you were worth nothing, or felt alone, or you felt like your exams were getting too much for you, or you felt like work was stressing you out and it was getting on top of you, God is always there for you and I, and that's how much you're worth and I'm worth dying for. So don't ever feel like you're worthless. song for praise worship tonight. Can I ask everyone to be outstanding for our theme song, please? I'll take away all her nerves, Father. I pray and ask all these things in your name, amen.
Tapu mo e tua me a whiu, taka tapo ke tangata ik whai whikau, tapo e tangata ke siasi, mahaka mo makana, tapo ke tangata eik, whawhina eik, lotu. Ai ata mo e whakamari wani ki u whawhawhonga atu ai whananga malanga e whiawhin, kalumana tār, ke o ata e taitari rei mo e taitari o kumawhana. Whiwhia ke u taitari rei ai lau maare ko tau pēu tau kawhataha e whiawhin, ka mata anga e sāpate, ka e maa e polokalama malafa e rangi rio e kau talawu, tau whanonga mai ai, ai e koe lere na e miki hono ua. Ia ko whiwhia ke taitari rei e lau maare ko tau pēu. Hakai atu ku tau kawhataha ni pa mo mosa. Tau whamāloa taitari rei koe mosa ka mo hoa, o mo whoki ma tau kawhataha e whiawhin. Ia taitari rei tau ahi ko tau pēu tau kawhataha, la mea tu vai ai tau ahi ku tau kawhataha e whiawhin, wate taitari mawhana, taitari whiwhia ka ki mo tolu, kai ke ulawa maoho mo hingoa, au ke ai whawhonga ia tu ke ai siasi, i o mo ulawa mai e whiawhin. Whakanga e hoko e pōpō ake e whiawhini, koe tāpu ake la ki mo tolu. Whiwhia fuke taitari rei e take kau tāwo, kai o maa e kau tāwo, e polokalama e kau whanonga mai ai, ia mo hono whai hono whakakato, ai mo e teu, o e polokalama ke hoko e koe tāpu ake ia, ai tau tupu, o e siasi, kai o maa e kau ahe tau kau whataha. Whakanga mai ki o whai tāpu kini nang pō. Taitari rei fuki, taitari mawaha e whiawhini, o hangea maa kalamoana tāri, o hei koe teu o kune whai, ia o tui, o hanga e ki o whakoloa koe, ai tāpu ake, mune hanga mea ngau a ki koe he whiawhini ki hoko koe ni tangata rea, koe ni whiwhine rea i he whiawhini. Ia ki he ngalu ea, ali mo tolu mo mamata mai he ngalu ope, e polokalama e whiawhini, whataangi hoko e wholofola e whiawhini, ko tāpu ake ka ki tā tolu ni kotoa. Māo.
Please close your eyes and bow your heads as I lead us off in a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for bringing each and every one of us here safely, Lord. I thank you for being with us throughout this busy week and for helping us get through to the last day of this week, Lord. I pray that you be with us as we go about this evangelism, Lord. Please be with anyone that is still on their way, Lord. I pray that you be with Kalamana, Lord, as she's about to preach your word, Lord. I pray that you empty up her heart, Lord, and fill them all with you, Lord. I pray that you use her as your mouthpiece, Lord, and that it may touch at least one soul in this house, Lord. I pray these things in your holy name, amen. Mala mela le sasi. Kai taime ke tau hiwa mawa he kore kama kore taime mala.
like myself, to share God's word, His word, in the last Empire series tonight. See, in the beginning of this series prep, Pastor put the youth into groups. He chose the leaders. We were given our content. And he told the leaders it was up to us. How we choose to present the awesome readings. So I held on to Pastor's words. Up to you, okay? So we had Bible studies. And my group, we were given 2 readings. Naki happily agreed to take 1 sermon. So I had 1 left. And I remembered, oh man, Lolita, she's in my group. Man, she's awesome. So I prayed. I said, Lord, please help Mela to accept this calling. I printed out the papers. I even wrote her name on the paper before I rang her. So confident, eh? So it was Friday, organized myself at work, rang her. It was pretty early in the morning. I rang, she answered. I asked, she said yes. But I was like, oh, you might want to run it through your parents first, just in case, you know, the mom and dad gets angry at me. But she said, no, okay, it's okay, I'll do it. So I was like, woo! I was relieved. The next day was Sabbath. So here I am with the malama in my hands, and I walk into as I come to Sabbath school every week, I walk through the corridor. And as I walk in, I look up, and I hear Pastor. He points at me, he's like, you! Immediately, I think, oh, did I make you like right today at school? All he said was, you, Malama, the Sabbath. So here I am. Let us pray. Father in heaven, Lord, I thank you for blessing everyone here traveling mercies as they came to church to fellowship on your Sabbath. Lord, I ask that you use me tonight as your instrument and your mouthpiece to present our message. Amen. Growing up as a Seventh-day Adventist meant the usual Sabbath prep. I disliked Friday afternoons because after school, it was on. Gallo, can you peel the potatoes? Gallo, can you iron the clothes? This was just a mum was sick, by the way. She usually did everything, but on the odd occasion. Gallo, can you iron your dad's 7 shirts? Because he'll just pick one in the morning. Gallo, can you help me prep Sabbath lunch? All Gallo wanted to do was nothing. But that was never the case. Then when all the chores were done on a Friday evening, it was time to get ready for church. So off we went. Friday night, vespers as you do, singing practices, blah blah, late night, come back home, sleep. Then Sabbath mornings, we're waking up to the sound of the piano, all the heritage singers, getting ready, loading our car, because Sabbath days were just so long, and I just couldn't wait for Bob Ingram. This was a typical Sabbath at the age of 12. It was just something that was the norm. See, my parents were also Adventists. So this is all I grew to know. However, did I capture the true meaning of Sabbath? Did I understand why? Not really. So tonight, I'll break it down and show how the Sabbath helps our lives today. Today, we are aware of the many major conflicts around the world that have been religious ones. Northern Ireland Catholics and the Protestants, Serbia, Bosnia, and Croatia, Catholics, Muslims, and Orthodox Christians. In Kashmir, there's Muslims versus Hindus. Israel and Middle East, Orthodox Jews and Muslims. And terrorism, often extremist Muslims. Terrorism. This happened in our own backyard on March the 15th of this year in Christchurch. This definitely a home for us in our small, beautiful country. Revelation reveals in the end times that final events will impact the spiritual or religious sphere of life. See, John the Revelator saw that the final battle for global worship or allegiance will be fought over and around religion. A union of three global powers. The final worldly empire seeks global worship, allegiance, and loyalty. Revelation 13:3-12. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon, who gave authority to the beast, and they worshipped the beast. He, the land beast, causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast. Did you notice, sadly, most will worship or give their loyalty and allegiance to Satan? And the result will be their destruction. This is why God sends his final messages to help and warn human beings of their danger. Let's read, if you can see. To read. Then I saw an angel flying in the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea and the springs of water. Revelation 14. So this is pretty much just saying, worship God, the Creator. Pretty simple. So this is the message to the world on the brink of the end, as we know. See, there are two opposing theories of origins, or how we came into existence. The theory of evolution teaches that over long ages, everything came into existence by time and chance. The other is the Bible's theory of creation, which declares that God created the world in 6 days. Let us read. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them. That's kind of like, yeah, you can see that. Let's read this one as well, please. To read. For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible. Colossians 1. Darwin, this guy, he believed that some races, such as blacks, were inferior to others. See, this is clearly seen in the full title of his book, The Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life. Favored races? What a joke. Sadly, acceptance and belief of the theory of Darwinian evolution has been slowly, silently, but surely impacting society, leaving a tragic legacy. At its purest form, evolution just has no place for loving Creator God. The belief of evolution is seriously impacting our society today. How sad is it to sit here knowing that there are people out there who believe that with all their hearts and minds, we either came from nothing or we came from monkeys. If there is no God, then there are no moral laws. Society then decides what's right and what's wrong. See, if there is no God, we're all alone when we fail. There will be no God to turn to, therefore fear and loneliness increase. If there is no God, there is no meaning in life or future hope. No glorious destiny towards which we are moving, because then you become an accident, we are accidents, and we just become products of random chance and time. So people with feelings of worthlessness abound, low self-worth and self-esteem, and it's become more evident in the way we live. We cannot blame all of this on the theory of evolution, but it has made a huge contribution because there is a law of the mind that belief affects behavior. Now, because of his great love for the world, including those who don't love or even believe in him, God has a solution to our problems. Again, it is found in God's final warning message. Let's read this again. To read. Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, "Worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea and the springs of water." See, God calls with an urgency to give our allegiance and loyalty to worship God as our Creator. God knew that in the end times, man would deny the biblical truth that God spoke this world into existence. He predicted it through his apostle, the prophet Peter, in 2 Peter 3, verse 3 and 4. Knowing the first, that the scoffers will come in the last days. For this they willfully forget that by the word of God the heavens were of old. So, how did we lose the concept of God as our Creator? How do you worship God as the Creator? The answer is found in God's law of love, written by the very finger of God so that it would endure forever. In Exodus 20, verse 8 to 11, let us read. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath. In it you shall do no work, for in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea. So, what is the purpose of the seventh day? First, the Sabbath is a sign or omen that God is our Creator. So to look up the word omen, because when I hear omen, I just think of something negative, but it's good and evil, and in this case, it's actually good. So, back to that. Sabbath is a sign or omen that God is our Creator. And let's read this one. To read. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. The Sabbath unequivocally, another word I didn't know, but unequivocally actually means leaves no doubt. So, the Sabbath leaves no doubt that our origins go back to God. See, after 5 days of creation, the Bible says that God made man in his own image. Let's read this one. To read. Then God said, "Let us make man in our own image." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then on the seventh day, God rested. Let's read this. To read. Thus the heavens and the earth and all the hosts of them were finished. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. Note 3 things that God did with the seventh day. God blessed it, which means he made it for our joy and happiness. Simple. God sanctified it, or set it apart from the other 6 days. Why? Because God rested on it. which is what Sabbath means, rest. His resting on it made it holy. Let us read this one. To read. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Simple. Why did God say, remember? Because his Sabbath reminds us that he is the creator. Tragically, man forgot to remember the Sabbath of the creator, and the result is the theory of evolution. See, the Sabbath was never an exclusively Jewish institution. It was given to all of us, to all humanity, because Jesus created all of us, not just the Jews. Which is why Jesus said, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Notice the word man that is mentioned twice. The Greek word translated man is, the Greek word, man translated in Greek, is anthropos, from which we get the word anthropology, which is the study of humankind. Therefore, the Sabbath was made at creation many centuries before any Jews even existed. The Sabbath brings rest of mind because you are not an accident. You are not a nobody. You are made in God's image. You are a child of God, and you are valued by someone. Secondly, the Sabbath is a sign that God cares for us. Ezekiel 20 verse 20. Hallow my Sabbaths, and they will be a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am the Lord your God. How does this show that God even cares for us? Come with me to Exodus 16. We already know the story. When Israel was hungry in the wilderness, God sent them manna or bread from heaven. This was before the commandments were written on stone. Take note, this was before the commandments were even written on stone. Let us read. In the morning you shall be filled with bread, and you shall know that I am the Lord your God. See, it is found in the instructions that God gave the Israelites regarding the manna. Don't keep it overnight, or it will be full of maggots. Gather twice the amount on the sixth day, and prepare on the sixth day the food for the Sabbath. Keep it overnight on the Sabbath. And it shall be on the sixth day that they shall prepare what they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. So this is how the sixth day became known as preparation day in Israel. So they laid it up till morning as Moses commanded, and it did not stink, nor were there any rooms in it. Exodus 16 verse 24. Question. How does a maggot know one day from another? See, any other days, when they collect the manna, if they kept it too long, it would just rot, smell, and maggots would come. But on preparation day, when they went and collected their manna, it would keep. It wouldn't go off. This is a miracle. It is telling us that the Creator is our provider. He cares about us and for our needs. This is how we know He is Lord our God, which means we can rest on His Sabbath because the Creator will provide for all of our needs. However, some Israelites thought One day is just as good as another, and they went out to collect bread, and there was none. See, God was somewhat angry with them for disobeying his command. It revealed a lack of trust that the Israelites, well, they obviously showed a lack of trust. I'd like to believe that if I was an Israelite, I would just listen, because God had already shown me his power while we were walking through the wilderness. But yet there were still people that just didn't believe. It revealed a lack of trust, like I said. So we will not suffer a loss for following God's command to stop work on his Sabbath. He will care for all our needs. Now I can vouch for this 100%, because many of you know I used to work at Pizza Hut many moons ago, and and Dusty was my first driver. I was promoted to a managerial role, and I was like, yeah, I get to change my uniform from my friends, and I get to look like a boss. But I was stripped of it purely because I couldn't work on our busiest nights, Friday and Sabbath. Now, of these two shifts, Friday shift, Sabbath shift, the company brought on a good 21K. So I had to work. It was expected. Well, you can't be a manager if you didn't work those two shifts. I don't know if it was lack of knowledge of my rights at the time, but they put me off for 2 weeks. So I had no money for 2 weeks. Sad life. But through prayer, and Dad was also a driver as well at that time, he just encouraged me. He was like, man, God's got this. And I was like, well, God's going to buy me a car in the morning because I got the money. 2 long weeks waited. My bosses were having meetings at head office. And Dad was like, keep the faith, you keep saying no. I got called into the office every day. Are you sure you don't want to sign this contract? Trying to trick me. I was first just to say, you know what? Oh yeah, I'll just work it over. 2 weeks, every day, still not getting paid. This case was under investigation. For some, thinking about it now, it sounds a bit silly. Having faith and keeping that, not working on Sabbath, God pulled through in. I was not only promoted, but I was given all these extra perks. I already had perks, but paid leave, extra paid leave, I should say. Extra free pizzas for my friends and my family. But most importantly, I kept my job. Praise the Lord. See, the Sabbath is a sign that God cares for us. You are not left to battle through life alone. When everyone lets you down, you can simply count on God. There is no need to give up, because he is with you to help you. See, the Sabbath is a sign that God makes us whole. Let us read, because I want to hear your voices. 2, read. Moreover, I also gave them Sabbaths to be a sign between them and me, that they might. See, the Sabbath reminds us that we are made whole again by God and for God. It is the death that makes us whole, setting us apart for himself. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. You may sit there and ask, what does this have to do with the Sabbath? Well, what day did God finish creation? At the end of the 6th day, just before the Sabbath. What day did God finish the work of our recreation? On the 6th day again, just before the Sabbath. Let us read. That day was the preparation, and the Sabbath drew near. That day, the day he died, Christ cried out, it is finished. Just as God finished his work of creation on the 6th day and then he rested. So Christ finished his work to recreate or restore his image in us on the sixth day, again, just before the Sabbath. You see, we are wanted, loved, and valued. We are new people. So, how do we rest with God on his Sabbath? Firstly, we need to keep the Sabbath as God rests so that we can rest with him. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. Then, which day is the seventh day Sabbath? The cross reveals which day is the seventh day Sabbath. That day was the preparation, and the Sabbath drew near. And the woman who had come with him from Galilee followed after, and they observed the tomb and how his body was laid. Then they returned and prepared spices and fragrant oils, and they rested on the Sabbath according to the commandment. Now on the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they and certain other women with them came to the tomb, bringing the spices which they had prepared. Let's notice the order of events that we just read. Friday is called the preparation day. Saturday is called the Sabbath. And Sunday is called the first day of the week. Now, this topic right here is a great conversation starter, especially with my friends who are non-Adventists. And I often have conversations with them without trying to be bots, but trying to be proud of representing Adventism at the same time. And it's like, oh, hey man, so do you believe that Jesus died? Yeah, on Friday. Oh, cool. Friday, eh? So when did he resurrect? On Sunday. Oh. So what did Jesus do on Sabbath, Saturday? Oh, he just hung around. Okay. Perfect opportunity to plant a seed, to share the truth as Adventists and what we believe. See, it's not just the Bible that shows us that Saturday is the Sabbath of the Lord. Language also reveals which is Sabbath. In over 140 languages of the world, the word Sabbath, look at this list just to prove my point, is Saturday. See, according to Royal Greenwich Observatory of England, no time has been lost. So from the very beginning of time, which hasn't been lost, the Sabbath has been a Saturday. See, the Sabbath is to be kept as a sign of allegiance, loyalty, and commitment to God. He created us in his image. He cares for us and all our needs. He made us new for himself when he redeemed us by death. This shows us that God cares for us, which is why God's end-time people, us, are said to keep his commandments. God is drawing the attention of his people back to the Sabbath commandment. Jesus is saying to you and me today, if you love me, keep my commandments. And one of those commandments that is based on tonight is remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Remember to keep my Sabbath so that you will remember I am your Creator and your Savior. See, there was a little boy. He made a sailboat. He loved his special creation and would float it on the river for hours with a string tied from his hand to the boat. One day, a strong gust of wind blew into the sail, pulling the string from his hand unexpectedly. Quickly, the breeze took the sailboat down the river and out of sight. The boy was broken-hearted. A few days later, he was just wandering through the shops of his little town when to his surprise, here was his little boat in one of the shop windows. Quickly he ran inside and he said, "Say, mister, that's my little boat in your window. Can I have it, please?" "I'm sorry, sonny," said the owner. "That is my boat. Someone brought it in here and sold it to you. If you want it, you'll have to pay for it." The little boy reached into his pocket and pulled out a few coins. "Is that enough, mister?" he asked. "No, sonny. You'll need a lot more than that." The little boy left disappointed, but determined to buy his boat back. So he went around doing chores for neighbors, cutting wood and mowing lawns and washing cars. Finally, he hustled enough, he came back to the shop, and to the delight, the little boat was still sitting in the window. He went to the counter, pulled out his money, and he gave it to the storekeeper. After counting it, "That's enough, sonny. The boat is yours." As the little boy left the shop, he hugged his boat and was heard to say to it, little boat, let's start that again. What did he say to it? "Little boat, you are twice mine. First I made you, then I bought you." Family and friends, that is what the Sabbath is all about. Every seventh day or Saturday, God is reminding us that He first made us, and when we went astray, He brought us back with the blood of His own Son. Why? Because we matter. It matters to Him about you. As I close in song, and only gonna believe, I invite you at this time to just open your hearts, whisper a prayer, and recommit to keeping the Sabbath day. Let us follow God's commandment. If you love me, keep my commandments. It matters to Him about you. Your heartaches, your sorrows, He shares. The moon and the stars are in His care. How wonderful to know, wherever you may go, He can be reached just by a whispered prayer. It matters to Him about you. Your heartaches, your sorrows, He shares. Regardless of what you may do, He wants you, He loves you, He cares. For it matters to Him about you. Believe it because it is true. So cling to His hand, He'll understand. For it matters to Him. Yes, it matters to Him. For it matters to Him about you. Our God created the Sabbath for us. Our mighty God, King of all kings, created the Sabbath for unworthy people like us. So all we need to do is just listen to His commandments. Because we matter to God. Amen. Close your eyes and bow your heads as I finish us off with a prayer. Father in heaven, Lord, we thank you for your unconditional love. We thank you that you are the King of all kings, and yet you still make time for sinners like us. We thank you that we're able to believe that you are our Creator, and we thank you for your blessings that you have blessed us with, and the blessings that are yet to come. Merciful tonight, Father, we thank you for your Sabbath. Thank you for this time where we can rest, where we can refresh our bodies, our minds, and our souls, but most importantly, fellowship with your people. Please keep us safe, Lord, as we dismiss from church tonight, but may we never dismiss from your wings of love. Thank you once again, Lord, for all you do for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I remember running an evangelism, and we preached the Sabbath topic on the very night before the Matema Atoma World Cup. In 2018, I ran an evangelism, and it happened that I preached the Sabbath night, the topic before the Matema Atoma Australia came in Malaysia. Guess what happened this year? And I said this for a reason. What is important? What is our priority? If we love God, give His command. You know what happened tomorrow night? You know what happened tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, Michael Mark will share with us why Sunday. If the seventh day is the Saturday, why Sunday? If you want to know more about it, the counterfeit, come and listen to my call. 5:30, 4:30, 4:30, 4:30. Every time, 4:30 each morning. My call will share with us. Beautiful topic. you are welcome to come there. Otherwise, happy Sabbath.